Hi everyone, welcome. Now, I'm sure a lot of you want to improve your sentences. That's probably why you clicked on this video. Because writing sentences that are rich in detail makes them more informative and more impressive, especially to business clients or your boss, or if you're doing any type of language exam like IELTS, FCE, CAE, TOEFL, TOEIC. So today's video is going to be perfect for you. Now, in this video, which is part 2 of my series on different types of phrases in English, we're going to take a look at the appositive phrase. Probably a phrase that you've not heard of, but you already use. So we're going to have a look at lots of different examples from daily life to business contexts and a big focus on IELTS, academic IELTS and essay writing. I know a lot of you guys are preparing for that exam. And I have got a quiz at the end of this with lots of interactive homework for you as well. So if you are confident that you know what appositive phrases are and how to use them, then bye! Jump to another video. I'll see you next time. But if you're not sure, or maybe you're hearing this term for the first time, or if you're studying for IELTS and you want to make your sentences more beautiful, then stay with me. So if you are one of my regular viewers, first of all, thank you. But you've probably heard me introduce myself saying, "Hi, I'm Anissa, the online English teacher." Well, there it is. That is an appositive phrase in action. So it's just a fancy way of saying a noun phrase that is describing another noun that comes right before it. So you can call me Anissa, that's my name. Or you can call me the online English teacher. So both of them refer to me. Let's take a look at some examples. Have you ever introduced a family member or a friend or a colleague? Maybe you've said something like, "This is Mariella, my daughter." Or, "I'd love you to meet Christina, another fan of horror movies." Or at work, you might have said, "Have you met Mike, the company's new HR manager?" So if you have said anything like that, congratulations, you have already used appositive phrases. Not sure what they are? Let's take a look at a definition. An appositive phrase is just a noun or a noun phrase that renames or provides extra information about the noun or the noun phrase accompanying it. And it's usually the noun that's right before it. That's it. It's normally got commas around it, so you can easily identify it. And the main thing to remember is it does not contain a verb that is conjugated. It might have a gerund, we've talked about those before. It might have an infinitive phrase, we're going to talk about those later, but it does not have a conjugated verb. So you're not going to say, "He goes," or "he went," nothing that's conjugated. I'm going to remind you of this a lot because that is a key point about appositive phrases. So let's take a look at those introductions. Can I remove a noun and it still makes sense? This is my daughter. Great. So I have replaced Mariella with my daughter. I'd love you to meet another fan of horror movies. That makes sense. Have you met the company's new HR manager? Fine. So we have fulfilled the criteria that we are renaming the noun before. Let's look at some more difficult examples now. So first of all, we can just use a noun phrase. My best friend, a talented musician, will perform tonight. A talented musician. We've got the noun musician, the determiner a musician, and that adjective a talented musician. There are no verbs, there are no other modifiers, so it is a noun phrase, and I am describing my best friend using this. I could replace my best friend and say, a talented musician will perform tonight. Okay, in example number 2, let's take a look at a gerund that is being used as an appositive. My hobby, gardening, keeps me busy. So we do not have a conjugated verb, we just have a gerund, gardening, and it's giving more information about my hobby. It's renaming my hobby. So my hobby, gardening, keeps me busy. But technically, this is not an appositive phrase. It's just an appositive because it's just one word. So remember from my previous video, we said that a phrase needs to be multiple words, the appositive and its modifiers. So let's take a look at another example hobby of mine that is an appositive phrase. My other hobby, the relaxing practice of painting, feeds my need to be creative. So now we've still got that gerund in there, painting, but now it is a full appositive phrase because of the modifiers. And the last structure that can be used is an infinitive phrase. We haven't talked about these yet, but I am going to cover them in a later video. So my sister's goal to become a doctor requires years of study. Now, we are not conjugating the verb here, but we are giving more information about that goal. Now, if you are anything like me, you like lots of examples when you're learning something new. So let's first take a look at 3 examples that you might hear people using in a more professional business context. For example, our head office, a major hub in our organization, has recently announced plans to relocate. So, where's the noun? Well, we've got 2, right? We've got our head office and a major hub in our organization. So we are describing that head office. We're adding more information about it. We could actually replace it and just say, a major hub in our organization has recently announced plans to relocate. Example number 2. The proposal, a comprehensive plan for market expansion, was unanimously approved by all board members. It's a nice bit of emphasis that I've put there because unanimously means that everybody agreed, but I still used all board members because I really wanted to emphasize that everybody was in agreement. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the proposal. And we're going to add more information about that proposal with the appositive, a comprehensive plan for market expansion. There's no verb in that. It's just one big noun phrase. Okay, so you might be getting used to these now. Let's take a look at the next one. The quarterly earnings, a crucial indicator of our financial health, exceeded expectations. Where is the appositive phrase? It's quite easy when you look for those commas. So we find the first noun, the quarterly earnings. It's actually a noun phrase. And then we've got another noun phrase that is describing it, a crucial indicator of our financial health. Since I know a lot of you are interested in writing in more academic contexts and maybe even going to do the IELTS exam, let's take a look at 5 examples with common topics that you might find on the IELTS exam. Remember, we are demonstrating how appositive phrases can add valuable information to the noun that they accompany. We're going to be using this to add clarity and detail. So, first up, education. Very common topic. In primary school education, the curriculum, a comprehensive set of courses designed to foster critical thinking skills, plays a crucial role in shaping students' intellectual development. Now, this is quite a long sentence, but if we have a look at that appositive phrase, we can see that it is adding more information about the curriculum, and it does not have a conjugated verb in it. Yes. Next up, the environment, a hot topic, so very likely you could have a question on this on the IELTS exam. The environmental policy, a stringent set of regulations to reduce carbon emissions, was enacted by the government. Wow. First of all, let's take a minute and look at some of the collocations here, because I love collocations. You would not say a group of regulations. We have a set of regulations. So that's a collocation. And what do we do with regulations? Well, we enact them. So that's the first step in Parliament. So to enact regulations, great. And then we're describing these regulations by saying that they are very stringent. So that's a really nice adjective collocation to use, stringent regulations. So even before we've looked at the appositive phrase, I'm really happy with the collocations. All right, so that appositive phrase is also nice because it includes an infinitive phrase. Remember, we're not conjugating the verb, but it's in there. To reduce. Beautiful. Next up, technology. You cannot escape this topic. So, artificial intelligence. A revolution in modern technology is transforming various industries. Where's the appositive phrase? This was an easier one because it was just one noun phrase followed by another noun phrase. A revolution in modern technology. Great. And the last topic is healthcare. And this was quite an interesting one. Telemedicine, an innovative approach to providing remote medical care via video call, gained popularity during the pandemic. Now, remember, if you are doing the IELTS exam, you are not expected to be an expert in any topic. You just needed to give general examples that are connected to the question and supported by logical points. So in this case, telemedicine. If you've never heard this term before and you're not sure what it means, take a minute and deduce the meaning from context and also take a look at the actual word. Telemedicine, teleconference. So telephone. But nowadays, everything is done using smartphone. So I used video call in my appositive phrase. Okay, now if you are going to do the IELTS exam and you want to see examples of this in IELTS writing, then keep watching because later on I'm going to look at a few part 2 essay questions and we're going to see how to use appositives in our introductions. Now, let's take a look at how appositive phrases can be used in different positions in the sentence. So you've already seen a lot of examples and you're getting good at identifying the appositive. So take a look at these 3 sentences, pause the video and find the appositive phrases. Hopefully you found that and realized I used the same appositive phrase in all three examples. A serious environmental concern. And I am describing, I'm adding more information, I am renaming air pollution. So, air pollution, a serious environmental concern, has been proven to affect urban areas more than rural areas. It has been proven that air pollution, a serious environmental concern, affects urban areas more than rural areas. It has been proven that urban areas are more affected by air pollution, a serious environmental concern, than rural areas. So notice that although the appositive phrase is in different positions, it is always directly after the noun that it is describing or renaming. Make sure that your examples later on follow that same pattern. Okay, I've talked a lot about reduced relative clauses in some of my other videos. So now let's compare a reduced relative clause and appositive phrases. In this example, social media platforms, popular tools for communication, have changed how people interact. You've seen lots of examples of appositive phrases, so very quickly you can identify popular tools for communication. And we are describing social media platforms. We're giving more information about that, or we're renaming it. But I know some of you are thinking, well, wait a minute, isn't this a reduced relative clause? Well, yes and no. So we could definitely say social media platforms, which are popular tools for communication, have changed how people interact. And then we could reduce it by removing the relative pronoun and the auxiliary verb. And we would end up with an appositive phrase. Wait a minute, Anissa, why? We have just followed the rules to make a reduced relative clause. Why are you now calling it an appositive phrase? Simple. The difference is that an appositive phrase does not have a verb. So when we reduce it and we take out those two parts, we end up with popular tools for communication. There is now no verb, which means we've actually created an appositive phrase. Okay, but I'm going to be honest. Teachers are normally lazy, and we just call everything a reduced relative clause. Not because we don't know the difference, but because it's not really that important. And as long as you are getting it correct, we don't care. So I just want you to be aware that there is a difference, because I know some of you are going to write me a comment and point this out. So I know, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So why am I explaining this to you now? Because I know some of you are going to question me in the comments, but also because we're going to keep looking at more complex phrase structures. So it is important that you can identify that this does not have a verb in it that has been conjugated. Remember, we're building a foundation. You've got to have a solid foundation if you want to level up and get more complex. Let's take a look now at 3 IELTS essay questions and consider how we might use an appositive right at the beginning in our very first sentence of the introduction. So, some people think that robots are important for humans' future development. Others think that robots have negative effects on society. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Okay, so this is clearly a discussion essay, and we can identify the main topic as robots. So Let's start off by paraphrasing that essay question in our first sentence. Robots, a groundbreaking advancement in modern technology, are seen by some as essential for human development, while others argue they pose significant risks to society. Oh, we've got so much going on in the sentence. We've got lovely passive voice. We've got that nice contrast. We've got some good paraphrasing. But today we're just focusing on that lovely appositive phrase that we've put in there to give more detail about robots, which is the topic. Take a look at this next IELTS essay question. Pause the video and see if you can identify the main topic. Scientists believe that in order to protect the environment, people must use less energy in their daily lives. However, most people have not changed the way they live. Why do you think many people have not taken individual action? What could be done to encourage them to take action? Now, be careful you don't veer off and talk about lots of different ways to protect the environment, because the question is focusing on using less energy. That is the main topic, reducing the amount of energy we use, conserving energy. So, an introductory sentence could be something like, energy conservation, a crucial step in safeguarding the environment, is advocated by scientists. Yet many individuals have not altered their daily habits to reduce energy usage. Again, we're not going to focus on paraphrasing in this video, but do take a look at how I have rephrased, I've used synonyms, and I've changed word forms to get that same idea from the question, but add a little bit more detail to it and not go off on a tangent that is unrelated to that first question topic. And now it is your turn. So take a look at this question. What is the main topic? And can you use an appositive phrase to add more detail about it? There are many possibilities, so don't forget to share yours in the comments section. So the question is, weddings are more expensive in many countries nowadays when compared to the past. What is the reason behind this? Is this a positive or negative development? Pause the video, think about it, write your first introduction sentence, and then I'll give you my example. Hopefully you paused and had a think about this. Hopefully you wrote something down. Now, my example was just weddings. Celebrations of the union between a bride and groom have become considerably more costly than those in previous generations, raising concerns about the underlying causes and whether this trend is beneficial or detrimental. So my appositive is not actually that exciting. It's really giving almost a dictionary definition of what weddings are. What did you write? I'm curious. Okay, now it's time for a little quiz. Now, this is not an IELTS quiz. This is for everyone. So I'm going to show you 8 nouns or noun phrases, and I've numbered them 1 to 8. Then I'm going to show you some appositive phrases. And I'd like you to match the nouns with their corresponding logical appositive phrase. This is a little bit about grammar and a little bit general knowledge as well. So we've got the Eiffel Tower, Marie Curie, Google, climate change, Leonardo da Vinci, the Amazon rainforest, Shakespeare, and the Pacific Ocean. Oh, so now take a minute, pause the video, and match them to the appositive phrases. Okay, so I'm sure most of you got these right. We've got the Eiffel Tower, a famous landmark in Paris. Marie Curie, a Nobel Prize-winning scientist. Google, a leading technology company. Climate change, a major global issue. Leonardo da Vinci, not only an artist, but also an inventor. Look at that lovely negative inversion in there. The Amazon rainforest, a vast tropical rainforest in South America. Shakespeare, a renowned playwright and poet. The Pacific Ocean, the world's largest and deepest ocean. Now, if you got those all right, fantastic, but it's a little bit boring. So, your homework, yes, I am giving you homework. Your homework is to extend these into full sentences. Now, keep in mind that we have got a noun or a noun phrase, and then we've just added another noun to describe it. So we've got this big noun phrase, and this can go at the beginning as the subject of the sentence, or it can go later on as the object of the sentence. So the Eiffel Tower, a famous landmark in Paris, we could have that as the subject. Is featured in the opening scene of my favorite movie. Or it can be the object. It is my dream to one day visit the Eiffel Tower, a famous landmark in Paris. Or Bob, I haven't mentioned Bob a lot today, so Bob decided to propose to his fiancée at the top of the Eiffel Tower, a famous landmark in Paris. Remember, your goal is to write an appositive phrase, not a relative clause. So this means if we look at Leonardo da Vinci, for example, Leonardo da Vinci, not only an artist, but also an inventor, made significant contributions to various fields such as anatomy, engineering, and astronomy. So here we've got that lovely inversion, not only an artist, but also an inventor. That is an appositive phrase because there is no verb in it. But a relative clause would be Leonardo da Vinci, who was not only an artist, but also an inventor, made significant contributions to various fields such as anatomy, engineering, and astronomy. So hopefully you see the difference there. If you've got that conjugated verb, it's a relative clause. If you remove it and you don't have any conjugated verbs, it's an appositive phrase. Hopefully you have enjoyed this class and you found it useful. So please let me know with a like, subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss my next video where things are going to get more difficult because we're going to look at more phrases. Yes, we have so many in English. If you missed my last video on the foundations, go and check that out because it's important. So take care, everyone. See you next time. And don't forget to leave your comments in the comments section if you have any questions or you want some feedback on your sentences. See you next time.